We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 15. Jugupsitam dharma krite anushashatah svabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yadva vyadvakyato dharma itiraha stito namanyate tasya nivaranam janah. Please repeat. Jugupsitam dharma krite anushashatah. Krite anushashatah svabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yadvakyato dharma iti tarah stito namanyate tasya nivaranam janah. Jugupsitam dharma krite anushashatah svabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yadvakyato dharma iti tarah stito namanyate tasya nivaranam janah. Ladies. Jugupsitam, verily condemned. Dharma krite, for the matter of religion. Anushashatah, instruction. Swabhava raktasya, naturally inclined. Mahan, great. Vyatikramaha, unreasonable. Yat vakyatah, under whose instructions. Dharmaha, religion. Iti, it is thus. Itaraha, the people in general. Stitaha, fixed. Na, do not. Manyate, think. Tasya, of that. Nivaranam, prohibition. Janah, they. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable. Because they are guided under your instructions, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. Purport: Srila Vyasadeva's compilation of different Vedic literatures on the basis of regulated performances of fruitive activities are depicted in the Mahabharata and other literature is condemned herewith by Srila Narada. The human beings, by long material association, life after life, have a natural inclination by practice to endeavor to lord it over material energy. They have no sense of the responsibility of human life. This human form of life, is a chance to get out of the clutches of illusory matter. The Vedas are meant for going back to Godhead, going back home. To revolve in the cycle of transmigration in a series of lives numbering 84 lakhs is an imprisoned life for the condemned conditioned souls. The human form of life is a chance to get out of this imprisoned life, and as such the only occupation of the human being is to re-establish his lost relationship with God. Under the circumstances, one should never be encouraged in making a plan for sense enjoyment in the name of religious functions. Such diversion of the human energy results in a misguided civilization. Srila Vyasadeva is the authority in Vedic explanations in the Mahabharata, etc., and his encouragement in sense enjoyment in some form or other is a great barrier for spiritual advancement. Because the people in general will not agree to renounce material activities which hold them in great bondage. At a certain stage of human civilization, when such material activities in the name of religion, as sacrificing animals in the name of yajna, were too much rampant, the Lord incarnated himself as Buddha and decried the authority of the Vedas in order to stop animal sacrifice in the name of religion. This was foreseen by Narada, and therefore he condemned such literatures. The flesh eaters still continue to perform animal sacrifice before some demigod or goddess in the name of religion, because in some of the Vedic literatures such regulated sacrifices are recommended. They are so recommended to discourage flesh eating, but gradually the purpose of such religious activities is forgotten and the slaughterhouse becomes prominent. This is because foolish materialistic men do not care to listen to others who are actually in a position to explain the Vedic rites. In the Vedas, it is distinctly said that the perfection of life is never to be attained either by voluminous work or by accumulation of wealth or even by increasing the population. But it is so attained only by renunciation. The materialistic men do not care to listen to such injunctions. According to them, the so-called renounced order of life is meant for those who are unable to earn their livelihood because of some corporeal defects, or for persons who have failed to achieve prosperity in family life. In histories like the Mahabharata, of course, there are topics on transcendental subjects along with material topics. The Bhagavad Gita is there in the Mahabharata. The whole idea of the Mahabharata culminates in the ultimate instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, that one should relinquish all other engagements and should engage oneself solely and fully in surrendering unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. But men with materialistic tendencies are more attracted to the politics, economics and philanthropic activities mentioned in the Mahabharata than to the principal topic, namely the Bhagavad Gita. This compromising spirit of Vyasadeva is directly condemned by Narada, who advises him to directly proclaim that the prime necessity of human life is to realize one's eternal relation with the Lord and thus surrender unto him without delay. A patient suffering from a particular type of malady is almost always inclined to accept eatables which are forbidden for him. The expert physician does not make any compromise with the patient by allowing him to take partially what he would not at all take. In the Bhagavad Gita is also said that a man attached to fruitive work should not be discouraged from his occupation, for gradually he may be elevated to the position of self-realization. This is sometimes applicable for those who are only dry empiric philosophers without spiritual realization. But those who are in the devotional line need not be always so advised. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminita Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. When a child is sent to school, the parents want what? What do the parents want? The parents want that he will study well and he will come out in flying colors. But the child is also interested in hockey, in ice skating, in social media, in singing musical instrument. But the father will not say no. He will say yes, good. Why it is necessary? Because it should all be balanced. But he will keep telling him, the important thing is you should study. Your main business as a student is to study and do good, gather knowledge and become proficient, so that you will come out and you will be respected, you will get a good job, you will have a social status and everything. And the real business of life is to make advancement like this. So the child also will learn that, because the father is constantly telling and guiding, showing him. Father may also be playing the guitar. He said, I did this also and that also and this also. So he models it. So the child also will encourage, yes, I am coming for the hockey match today. You are the captain, no? I am coming today to see how you did. Then he will point out this, you could have done like this. But then when the time is over, say, now you can go and study. See you. He knows to weigh out a secondary importance and a primary importance. And he never takes his eyes off the primary importance. Okay? So this is about that roughly, it's a crude example. So Narada Muni is now started telling, if you look at the way Narada Muni talks to Vyasadeva, it is very nice. First he will praise him. First he will drop a hint. As soon as he comes, he will drop a hint. You want people to remain in the bodily concept of life? First thing he will tell when he meets Narada Muni is this. And we will also be wondering, why is he suddenly telling this? But then immediately he will say, you are so good, you've done amazing service, you have composed the entire Puranas, the Vedas and this and that, and you have given wonderful instructions, that, this and all that. Then he will say, but actually you have not described the pastimes of the Lord. But you have done great, you are such a learned person, you are so fixed in austerity, you are so this. He keep on telling in between intervals, sandwiching the correction between the praises. It's very interesting to note how he is telling to his disciple. And this disciple is not an ordinary disciple. He is the literary incarnation of Krishna himself. Bhagavan is appeared. So he is still instructing him. And then slowly steps up the instruction. After sandwiching, each time he increases the masala in between. And when he comes here now, he is telling, it's condemnable what you have done. What instruction you have done. Completely this thing. Now only telling that. He is telling, it is condemned to instruct a person to become entangled in fruitive activities and material enjoyment. If you are doing only that, then it is condemnable. But if you give main instruction is this, And on the side give these instructions that will help you to climb to this. Even the secondary things that you do will help you to climb on to the primary. Like that, if you give instruction at least to some extent is okay. But you have given very less instruction of the primary importance. And you have given all sorts of instruction about everything else, all that duty, that rule, this regulation. You can enjoy like this if you do that, this and all that. People will get busy enjoying. And it's exciting way you're told also, follow this rule, go this route, come like this, you'll immediately find this, then you enjoy that, then you leave and go here again. It's like an adventure, lots of enjoyment with a little hard work. You take them on a big enjoyment adventure, and you're not telling them the goal of life is to learn to love Krishna, the absolute truth. So you have waylaid them, you have driven them away from the main goal of life. Therefore it is condemnable. You're not connected it properly. So he's directly telling here that what you have done, condemned is quite unreasonable. It's very interesting. Unreasonable. If you know the goal of life, why are you not directly telling them the goal of life? Why? Normally, why don't you tell directly, please chant Hare Krishna to somebody? Why don't you sometimes, very sophisticated people, or you don't tell them immediately, please chant Hare Krishna, that is the best thing to do. Sometimes you will go round and round. See, we are doing a lot of social activities, we do Annadanam, we do this, we do that and all that. Then we do this and all that. Oh, very wonderful, very wonderful. Then he starts doing Annadanam and everything. Then he comes and takes part in it. Then one day you call him for this festival, you come, oh, very nice it was, you chanted this thing and all that. Slowly only you introduce him. If he's interested, sometimes when they do the kirtan, they'll go out. Then you know that this person is, immediately you have to tell him, Japa you can chant lightly, slowly you can chant. You want to give it to him, but you'll give it to him in different ways. But you can see that you cannot directly tell him to do it. But if you don't tell him at all, if he's come to the temple and you don't tell him anything about Krishna, about the Lord, keep always talking about Annadanam and this and that and all that, it's very bad, no? He came all the way to the temple. Lord Jagannath is sitting here. You should tell him about Lord Jagannath, you should tell him about Krishna, tell him to become a devotee of Krishna, but you continuously speak about Annadanam we did, this is a picture of this, next we are going here, then we are doing this, why don't you come here? It's all Annadanam business. So what he gets is, Kovili Summa, side la. Main thing is the correct thing. See, social service is the most important thing. This Kadavul and all that, a little bit we should do. Most people are like that in this world. I didn't want to name people because I'm being recorded. Some people use big temples, but they don't really worship. It's all directed towards something else. That is what Narada Muni is accusing Vyasadeva of. In order to be able to accuse Vyasadeva and correct him, you must be super good. To be Vyasadeva's guru and tell Vyasadeva what to write. Right? And how what you have written is not helping out. You must really know the purpose very correctly. And Narada Muni is truly such a person, capable of criticizing Vyasadeva and getting the final product of the Bhagavatam out of him. Somebody would say, Narada Muni elidirikalame Bhagavatam. Okay, you didn't do your job properly, I'm going to write Bhagavatam. Narada Muni is Bhagavatam. No, he didn't do it. What he did is, tell you only should do it. Because you have done this much now. It's the other thing also you should do. So you attach this to that, everything will become perfect. That is the way he is instructing. You have done such wonderful thing, you have done Puranic literature, Veda, everything you have done. But you have not described the pastimes of the Lord extensively. You add that to this whole compilation, everything will become perfect. Everything will become perfect. So, the capacity to criticize constructively comes only when you're very confident of what is the right thing to do. If you criticize without knowing what is the right thing to do, then that is very low class criticism, born out of envy. But here the criticism is, people will be lost if you don't do this. You must do this. So this is the meaning of very constructive criticism. And you can't escape it. The criticism is so good that you can't. And also he takes it very nicely. When the disciple is criticized by the guru with a proper understanding, he should accept it. Vyasadeva already knows this must be the reason. Before Narada Muni comes himself, he is thinking, I think I missed out on this. He is already thinking. And as Narada Muni is coming itself, he is getting the thought. You will read that in the Bhagavatam. And after Narada Muni comes and tells him directly, then he is very sure this is it. This is it. So one confirmation comes from the super soul. Another comes externally from the Siksha Guru, the Diksha Guru, everybody. Then you must act on it. Then you must not speculate after that. No, actually, I'm not so bad at it. I did a good job. If you start thinking and speculating, you just see, he did not do that. He said, correct. He immediately understood correctly. And that was a wonderful product of the Bhagavatam. If you just immediately suspect, doubt, why are you telling me that? Something is up. If you go the other way, the Bhagavatam wouldn't have come out. So constructive criticism always produces a product constructively. There is something that comes out of it. Destructive criticism will actually create more dissension and it will stop what is being done also. Okay, that is on the lighter side. But here Narada Muni, like I told you, is not afraid of criticizing. Why? He is very confident of the truth. He is very confident in knowing what is real religion. He knows. That you have not directed people towards that. If you do this, because the Bhagavatam starts with that dharma pro atra saranam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tatpatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavade Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parairishwara Sadyo Hridavarudhyate Atrakriti Shubhistakshanat. Beautiful shloka this is. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Giving up all these types of activities, even if it is mentioned in the Vedas, because they are cheating you from getting Krishna. They're cheating you from getting Krishna. They're waylaying you. They're directing you away. That is titled as cheating religion. Even from the Vedic literature, worship of devatas and satisfying your material desire, following austerity, rules, regulation, all that is cheating. It's a statement of the Bhagavatam. It's all cheating. Only real religion is directly service to Krishna, love of Krishna and perfection in that. That is the real religion. The Bhagavatam states it right from the beginning. So this sloka, Dharma Projita Kaito, Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam. Vastavam means reality. Explaining the reality. The reality is Krishna, absolute truth. Explaining Krishna and introducing Krishna, the absolute truth, reality. That is religion. Very brilliant example is given here by Prabhupada. The entire Mahabharata, everybody becomes very busy with the whole Mahabharata and the wonderful story. Draupadi getting disrobed and then this happening and that fight and this thing and what is dharma, what is adharma, and Bhishma is not able to answer. And very interesting. Prabhupada is saying, but the interesting thing about Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. He's telling that if you have not read and understood, then you have been waylaid. You have been diverted the other way. The interesting thing is Bhagavad Gita. Only if you read Bhagavad Gita, you'll respect Krishna's role. See, great Goswamis and Acharyas have mentioned Mahabharata does not directly discuss Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It gives importance to many people. Even Vishnu Purana is like that. Not this way, that way. It is only in the Bhagavatam, it proclaims exactly what the Bhagavad Gita says. All the devotees who would speak in the Bhagavatam, you will see Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, Vidura, Maitreya, all the great sages, Navayogendras, everybody will uncompromisingly tell you Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhakti to him is the topmost religion. There is no other religion. It is not required. Nothing else is called religion. Everything is all steps to this religion. And if you don't, that steps don't lead you to this religion, that step also is useless. Joy is very natural. If somebody is in this material world not taking up spiritual life also but not enjoying, he is only stupid. Unnecessarily practicing austerity. Either you become spiritually oriented and climb that ladder, or you enjoy completely. No, I am simply austerity. Then you are a fool. Definitely. From both sides they will say you are a fool. The materialists will say you are a fool, the spiritualists also will say you are a fool. Right? You do find some characters like this. Very interesting. Fellow, what are you doing in life? Simply following austerity? Austerity for the sake of austerity. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiki. I don't want to name it, but some religion are just like that. Just like that. What is the purpose? They are not very clear about what is the purpose. So, on the other side, you have people who follow all the rules and regulations, and the end product they want is sense gratification, enjoyment. Most of the people in the world do that. They use the Vedic literature, they use all these instructions to actually finally enjoy. And that is popular. Why? The living entity, conditioned soul will naturally be inclined to do that. Naturally inclined to do that. But what should you actually lead them to is to make them serve Krishna. Make them serve Krishna. So that is very rare. That is rare. Not everybody will do that. And it is also not available also to everybody. It is only because of Lord Chaitanya and Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada that secret of the Bhagavatam has become available to everybody in an executable manner, in a very simple manner. It's a very amazing gift. Normally you cannot realize Krishna so easily at all. He is very hidden, and if you read the Vedic literature, you will never understand all what's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. You will understand something else. You can never come anywhere to this conclusion. It's only because of Vyasadev's contribution and Narada Muni is pushing him to do it that it says all that mass of Vedic literature is meant for this purpose. Vedaisya sarve ahameva vedyaha. The entire purpose is this, but if you read the Vedas on your own, you will never get to this conclusion. You will completely be lost. So imagine if guidance of Narada Muni and the product that Vyasadeva made is not there, you will be lost. Similarly, imagine if a pure devotee like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was not there, nobody would have understood properly what is religion. Such a wonderful, scintillating contribution to human society. Just like Vyasadeva made this contribution after hearing from Narada, Prabhupada made the contribution to the whole world. Not only to India, where people were practicing Dharma Projita Kaitavo, a type of religion. Even today, very popular. Very, very popular. You see. Even at that time they were criticizing. Some good people who knew, they were telling the founder of modern Hinduism, this is neo-Hinduism, what you guys are doing. Hinduism is what was there before the Mughals came here. Some fellows know it. They know very well because they are scholars. Hinduism was what was there before the Mughals came here. After that, because of the Mughals and the Britishers and the colonists, you guys reacted to that and produced a new religion. And the founder in British times is Rajaram Mohan Roy for Neo-Hinduism. Because he is the fellow who had a little bit of both sides. He liked his great culture and tradition, but he liked the British very much. In his letter to the parliament, to this thing, he is writing, what will Sanskrit give us? Will it give food? Sanskrit is simple, full of grammar and all that, so difficult to understand. Introduce English. By English we can understand science, physics, Western philosophy, everything nicely. Alright? And he is begging the Britishers to introduce English. Because they were giving grant for maintaining Sanskrit college now. And he criticized and said, what are you doing? What will Sanskrit help us? How will it help us? Remove Sanskrit, put English. You know, Rajaram Mohan Roy is worshipped as a great, revolutionary who changed many things. Modern Hinduism and all that. He's the one who stopped that sati practice, and he is the one who modernized. Then he actually finally went and stayed in England and died in England only. He was so much after the British way of doing things. Right? So even in modern times, they'll tell you that this is not the real Hinduism. It's all mix of Western ideas and this and that. There is one group of people who tell that. Actually, they also don't know really what is Hinduism, but they know something is wrong with this. It has got beaten up, dumbed down, and it has become something else. That original thing is what Prabhupada carried. That's why when he went to UK, he said, I have brought you something which you forgot to take. You will never find out what it is. I brought you that. So, the original religion which Krishna wants you to do, which he has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, that you will find in the Bhagavatam. And not only in terms of Bhagavad Gita, it will be spoken about in great detail by many devotees. Fully relishable, very, very tasty and deeply engrossing, intellectually satisfying, mentally satisfying, spiritually satisfying, and yayatma suprasiddhati, as it mentions there, you become very happy from inside, from deep inside out. That's what the Bhagavatam can do to you. So present that about Krishna to everybody is Narada Muni's instruction to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva compiles this. Because he fully understands what Narada Muni is saying. Very good communication between both of them, you'll see. Both of them working for the highest benefit for human beings. With no sense of any ego or false ego of any type. One is criticizing, the other is accepting the criticism and say, yeah, correct, let's do this. Why? Both are interested in serving the Lord. Anything, if you criticize me, I don't mind taking it because it was going to make my service better, I accept it fully. Otherwise, such a great author getting criticized is not so easy nowadays. I'm a bestseller. Who the hell are you to tell me this? I just rocked like nothing, and the New York Times bestseller, you dare speak to me? Rather, from the critic side, they'll also be thinking, I better don't talk anything to him because he's too big. But he's wrong. But what can I do? So Krishna is arranging the criticism through Narada Muni. And that same Krishna is coming as Vyasadeva and imperfectly composing also. That's very interesting. You see that? Because ultimately it's the literary incarnation of the Lord. Somebody can ask a question. Vedaisa sarve rahameva vedya. Prabhupada says Vedanta means Vyasadeva. I came as Vyasadeva and wrote it. Right? So when you came, Vyasadeva wrote, why did you write incompletely? That is a pastime. Narada Muni will come and tell what to do and I will write after that. Then only distinctly they will see the difference between the rest and this. Oh, this one is a tipping thing. This Bhagavatam is a real thing that stands out. So he composed it like that only. Without Bhagavatam he composed it. And then by the Lord's own planning, Narada Muni comes in, gives his instruction. And then he composes the Bhagavatam. And it goes further. His composition of the Bhagavatam is one thing. How did he bring it out publicly to everybody? There was another pastime. His own son, he wanted to teach the Bhagavatam to his son. But his son went away from home. His son also was like what Narada Muni told him. He was a Brahmavadi. He's a Brahmavadi and he left his house. So Vyasadeva, it's not so easy to preach. It's not so easy to spread the message. Even Vyasadeva had problem. Magane, I am hoping you will help me. No, Brahman is gone. Just now Narada Muni gave me instruction, I compiled it. I thought I will hand it down in the line. He is not there. It's not available. So he kept speaking Bhagavatam from what his compilations are to his students. His students went to the forest and started chanting all these Bhagavatam shlokas. And there Shukadeva hears it. And then he becomes very interested. And he comes back. And then Vyasadeva is very happy to speak the Bhagavatam to him. Actually, Vyasadeva's many other disciples, it's mentioned he chose only his son Shukadeva to hear it. Because something else is supposed to happen. From that Sukadeva Goswami's mouth, the Bhagavatam came out filled with rasa. That is why it is mentioned Sukhamukhat Amrita Drava Samritam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. It came out of Shukadeva Goswami's mouth, that same Bhagavatam filled with rasa. That's what Vyasadeva was waiting for. When I put it through my son, it will come out in this way. So when Shukadeva Goswami was speaking, Vyasadeva was sitting and hearing. His own composition is coming through my son's mouth. Filled with rasa. It's very different. Sukhamukhat Amrita Drava Samyutam. So he knows his project is not yet over. Number one, I did stage 1. And my Guru Maharaj comes and says, not proper, write about Bhagavatam, write about Lord's pastimes. I write that. Then the second stage of that is, I must now teach it to somebody for it to go out and get publicized. And, people understand it. So, it happened through Shukadeva Goswami. Then only he became peaceful. Project accomplished. Now he has spoken. Everybody will catch hold of it. Suta Goswami catches it, then he speaks to Rishis in Naimisharanya, and then from there onwards it keeps on coming out in various ways. This way, coming in the Parampara, today we are able to hear that same Bhagavatam as given to us in the line by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Only chosen people can do this. Only those who are chosen can speak about it. It's not at all casual and easy to do it. Everybody is not given the chance to do it. So Prabhupada used the word because he wanted me to do it. When they asked him why Krishna himself could have done this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have done this, he said, because he wanted me to do it. Very simple answer he gave, I am the person supposed to do it. And then following me, all of you will do it in a different way. So you can imagine the history of today when we sit down here and read this. All these great personalities have contributed to it. Right from Narada Muni to Vyasadeva, all of them. A huge amount of work has been done behind. And if we sit in the Bhagavatam class and sleep, or don't use the book and read, or use it for talagani, for the pillow, how horrible it will be. How horrible it is. right? So we should carefully listen, because it is a work done by so many amazing personalities. Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, and so many leelas you can see before it is coming out into human society. Puranar ko adunodita hai. Krishne swadamo pagate dharmagyanaadibhi sa kalau nashtadrishamesham. This is Krishna. Although Krishna disappeared from this world, he has reappeared as the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has again come, rising like the sun in the form of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Krishna. It's non-different from Krishna. That is the statement of the Bhagavatam. So we should associate with Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like associating with Krishna. You must not take it lightly. Every day you must read the Bhagavatam. That day when you have not read the Bhagavatam is a big loss. It's a big loss. You can mark it with a big black cross on your calendar. Useless day. Because Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya I could not do. You should cross it. You should stick a black flag on it. Right? Every day you should somehow or the other get in touch with Bhagavatam and read. Just one shloka, at least read. Because this is the instruction given by Vyasadeva, given by the great sages. Om Tat Sat, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay. Any question or comment? Jugupsitam dharma krite anushashatah स्वभाव रक्तस्य महान् व्यतिक्रमः यद्वाक्यतो धर्म इति तरः स्थितो न मन्यते तस्य निवारणं जनः. Yes. அவங்க ஏற்றுக்க முடியலன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நம்மளாம் ஒரு காலத்தில் ஹிந்துக்கள் தான். நமக்கு நடுவில் வந்து ஹிந்துக்கள் மட்டும் இல்லை, கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸு முஸ்லீம்ஸ் எல்லாருமே இருக்காங்க ஆக்சுவலாக. பட் அந்த அவங்களுக்கு சேர்ற மாதிரி அந்த ஃபெசிலிட்டி நம்ம பண்ணலை. யூ காண்ட் எஸ்கேப் தட் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. நீங்கள் பண்ணலை. எல்லா வசதியுமே பிரபுபாத் பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டாரு. He said propagate it. Execution maybe we did not do. Because இந்த விஷயம் வந்து automatic Lead. Leading where? Where are you taking everybody? You know the story of the Pied Piper? When I was young, it's a very famous, I think it's some Hans Christian Andersen story. What is that? The Pied Piper? He will play very nicely and all the young kids will go behind him. And then they were complaining about him and this and that and all that. So something happened, I don't remember the detail of the story. He said, I'll show all of you. And he played a beautiful tune. All the kids went behind him and he took them into the forest. He never returned. The kids also never. So what is the meaning of leadership? Leadership means you should lead people to the absolute truth. That is leadership. Everything else is bunkum. Right? People don't lead. That's why the problem is. Prabhupada repeatedly says that. Even the Bhagavatam speaks about people who don't lead properly. It compares them to hogs, dogs, camels and all that, who are not interested in the absolute truth and leading people wrongly. These are very heavy statements, but it is true. It's true. So we have to show that leadership in the sense of leading people to Krishna, and it will happen. Prabhupada has done it and shown. People still cannot understand how you marketed such a difficult commodity so successfully all over the world. Bhakti, Harinama. And added to that, you make people follow regulative principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, that also. It's very difficult to do. How did you do it? How did you do it? He said, I simply followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, Parampara's order, and it works. So, maybe we are not doing it. So you have a big job to do. Yeah, this is a question. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Sometimes in our inner mind, we will think that what we are doing is correct, but the reality is different. So how it is to be understand what is correct and what is incorrect. Speak to the next devotee next to you sitting, ask him, is my mind what you're telling correct? He will tell you, definitely not correct, you better be careful. Then you speak to the guy on the left also. Excuse me, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, 1 minute. This is what my mind is telling. Is this correct? He may also give you some comment. Or he may say, who knows? But, so that is why there is a senior guru who will tell you directly it's not correct. Like Narada Muni is telling Vyasadeva, condemnable, don't write like this. Directly he tells you. He's not afraid of social position and social media likes will go down or anything like that. He will speak the truth. Doesn't matter, because I should benefit you with the truth. Right? So you're not alone that you have to, my mind is my only hope. I have to listen to whatever my mind says. It's not like that. There are other people who don't run on the mind but run on the intellect. They may give immediate good analysis, but there are others who run on the spirit. They will even give a much better analysis. There are others who run completely on devotion. They will give you the best. You can take advantage of all of this to get yourself out of the mental platform. Mahalila, Hare Krishna Maharaj, how to come out of unfortunate condition of getting sleep while reading SB. Stand up. Continue to listen SB. If you are feeling sleepy, stand up. Put water on your eyes. Clean it. Come and listen. Make an effort not to sleep, in other words. It's very simple, no? Is there any difficulty in that? Like Prabhupada asked, how to be sincere? He said, just be sincere. He written so much philosophy, and practically speaking, how to be sincere? He said, just be sincere. Exercise it. Right? If you say how not to sleep, don't sleep. Just get up. Stay awake. Go to sleep. There are two different statements. I'm feeling sleepy and I'm not supposed to sleep. Wake up. Get up. What else to say? I don't know. Any other question or comment? Yeah. But I thought you're the one who asked this question. It says Anup. Vivek, I'm sorry, Vivek. Okay.
But in Bhagavatam, Vyasdev himself says himself as Bhagavan Bhagavata and Mahamuni, like that. So it's like supposed to be humble, but saying himself as Bhagavan Bhagavata.
It's not Vyasadeva who is saying it. Go ahead, read that again. Where it says, is Vasudeva who is saying it? It doesn't say. Badarayana is Sukadeva Goswami. Badarayana is Sukadeva Goswami. What's your question, by the way? Vyasadeva should not say Bhagavan Badarayana about his son. That's what you're trying?
About himself?
No, I don't think it's like that. See who is telling it. It's not Vyasadeva who is saying that. I don't think it is Vyasadeva who is saying that. Sukadeva Goswami, or it is being mentioned by Suta Goswami. Yeah. It's not Vyasadeva who is mentioned. You can check that. Badarayana means Suta Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, yeah. Okay? Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.